Have you ever sat beside someone in their final moments and felt something shift in the room? Like a presence slipping away, not vanishing but moving on? I have. And I'll never forget the peace on my grandmother's face when she took her last breath. It felt like she knew, not feared, knew.
I've been there too. But what you're describing, it's emotion, memory, the human brain trying to make sense of something unbearably final. Science tells us the lights go out, permanently. Consciousness is a product of the brain. When the brain dies, so do we.
That's what I believed once too, until I started listening, really listening, to stories from people who were pronounced clinically dead and came back. Not all were dramatic. Some were quiet, but all spoke of something. Light, peace, even encounters with long-lost loved ones. Are they all liars? Hallucinating? Or is there more to this mystery?
I don't call them liars, but brains under trauma do strange things. You're drowning in chemicals when you die. DMT, serotonin, they flood your mind. It's not divine, it's biology.
Then explain Pam Reynolds. She was clinically brain dead. No brain waves, body on ice, no blood in her brain. Yet she described the surgical tools they used, what the doctors said, things she couldn't have seen or heard, because her eyes were taped shut, her ears plugged, her brain silent.
I've read that case, and yes, it's puzzling. But puzzling doesn't equal proof of a soul. Anecdotes aren't data. We need repeatable evidence, controlled studies. Otherwise, we're just chasing shadows.
And yet those shadows change people's lives. One hospice nurse told me patients often speak to unseen visitors, parents, spouses, children who passed years ago. One man looked past her shoulder and smiled. He said, "She's here." Then he died. How do you explain that?
I explain it as the brain preparing to shut down. Hallucinations, desire for comfort. We want meaning in those final moments, so we find it, we imagine it.
But what if it's real? What if the soul survives and we've just been too afraid or too arrogant to consider the possibility? If death is not the end, if consciousness continues, then the way we live today matters even more. Our choices ripple beyond this life.
That's a powerful if. And I admit, I envy your certainty. But belief without proof is dangerous. People can be manipulated by religion, cults, false hope. We need truth, not just comfort.
I'm not asking for blind faith. I'm asking for openness. Even hospice doctors, who witness death daily, have begun to speak up. Dr. Christopher Kerr said he once believed death was purely medical, until patient after patient described vivid end-of-life dreams, reunions, apologies, forgiveness. They died with peace. What kind of illusion does that?
So, let's say you're right. There's something after. What then? What's the point?
Then life becomes a preparation, not for punishment or reward, but for growth. Maybe the soul evolves. Maybe we return. Maybe we're here to learn love, courage, kindness, and what we don't learn, we carry forward until we do.
That's poetic, but still speculation.
Speculation with meaning. You ask, what's the point? The point is this. If you knew you were more than this body, if you believed your life had purpose beyond your job, your bills, your fears, wouldn't you live differently?
Maybe. Maybe I already should.
You know, I had a friend. Rational guy. Engineer. Not spiritual at all. But weeks before he passed, something changed in him. He told me he started dreaming of his father, a man he hadn't spoken to in 30 years. And in the dream, they just sat on a bench. No words, just presence. He woke up crying, said it felt more real than anything he'd ever known.
That's what I mean. Something shifts when death gets close. People stop pretending. Their souls start speaking, even if they've silenced them their whole lives. That's when we see the truth most clearly.
I wanted to believe him, but I kept asking, why would a world with an afterlife allow so much suffering? Why do children die? Why do good people waste away in pain? Wouldn't a higher realm be more merciful?
Pain doesn't prove there's no meaning. Maybe this world, with all its pain, is a kind of soul training ground. We're not here for comfort. We're here to become. Some of the kindest, wisest people I know walked through darkness to get there. Suffering didn't destroy them, it shaped them.
That's a noble idea, but also dangerous. Because then we start justifying pain instead of ending it. What if we spend our lives chasing growth in another life and forget to make this one better?
That's exactly the point. If you believed you were a soul, not just flesh and bone, wouldn't you treat others with more compassion? Wouldn't you stop wasting time on anger or pride? Wouldn't you forgive faster? Hold people longer?
Maybe. But I also think some people cling to the idea of an afterlife because they can't accept death. They don't want to be erased.
Is that so wrong? To want to be remembered? To want to matter?
No. It's not. But I guess I just want to know what's true, not what's comforting.
Then be curious. Explore. Don't close the door just because science hasn't walked through it yet. Consciousness is the biggest mystery we still haven't solved. Where is you located? Your memories, yourself. Some say in the brain. But others believe consciousness is non-local, not bound to the body. More like a field we tap into.
That's a stretch. But I've read about quantum consciousness theories and near-death experiences where people see themselves from above the operating table. Describe rooms they've never entered. It's hard to explain.
And maybe we don't need to explain everything. Maybe some truths are felt, lived, not proven.
But if we start trusting feelings over facts, where does that leave us?
It leaves us humble, because the universe is vast, and maybe we're not here to solve the mystery, but to live it, to ask deeper questions, to love, even if we don't understand what happens next.
You sound like my wife. She believed in angels, kept feathers in her journal. When she died, I found a note. This isn't goodbye. I'll wait for you under the big oak tree. That tree's in our backyard. Now every evening I sit there. Not because I believe, but because I hope.
Hope is a bridge. Sometimes we need it more than certainty.
What if the afterlife isn't a place, but a reminder to live this life more fully, to forgive, to connect, to love like it's not the end? Because maybe it isn't. If this video made you pause, reflect, or feel something real, please consider subscribing. We share stories that speak to the heart, for those of us still asking life's biggest questions. And if someone you love is grieving, wondering, or just needs a little hope, share this with them. You never know who it might comfort today.